All right, I'm going to make another announcement. I'm going live. And then after that, I'm going to be showing off everything I've watched during the month of September. And because of the lack of new release videos, I'm going to also be letting people know about the lack of new release videos lately. So, let's see if I can get this done, and then we'll go ahead and start. All right. And I'm just doing this, seeing, just want to, hey, what is going on? Like I said, this video, well, live stream, I guess, is going to be a combination of me showing off watched during the month of September, as well as me explaining why I haven't done a new release video lately. So, as me explaining. Okay. All right, now that I've got this, phone was messing up. So while I'm doing this part, I'm going to go on ahead and just start off with the basics. I don't think I have done a new release video in almost 2 months. And part of it has just been my scheduling. Like, I've got my schedule set up so that I am off on Tuesdays. And part of the reason I did that was to make sure that I could be at all the stores. Appreciate it, dude. But yeah, I originally had it set up so that I could watch or do the new release video. Well, there's a couple of issues that have happened since the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, Best Buy, which is pretty much the only place I record, opened at 10, and now they open at 11. Walmart, not only am I not allowed to record in there, there's never a guarantee that the new release stuff is going to be up when I go in. And that has been an issue because, hey, what's going on? Just mainly letting everyone know the biggest reasons behind why I haven't done a new release video recently, and then I'm going to show off everything that I have watched during the month of September. So, Walmart sometimes has their stuff up on Tuesdays. Sometimes it's Friday before that stuff's up. And there's been a couple of times where I've asked what's going on or if they have something up yet. And I'm just told it'll be up when it's up. And that pisses me off. I'm just going to be honest about it. Because, one, I'm giving them my money. Like, I'm not trying to be one of those the customer's always right thing. I've worked retail before. I know it can suck. But at the same time, I can't give you my money for something that you said is going to be on the shelf and it's not there. And then the person putting it up is just like, it'll go up when it's up. So that's pretty much it there. And I am posting a story on Instagram to let people know that I am now live on here. But between Best Buy now opening later, Walmart being Walmart, and now in the past few weeks, my local Target now pretty much has a $5 shipper at the very back of electronics and new releases. And that's kind of it. So those are pretty much my only options when it goes to new releases, because I don't live in a huge area. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of online purchases myself lately, just because I don't know when the stuff's going to be there. But sorry, Instagram's kind of acting up while I'm trying to share my link to let people that are currently on there know that I'm live. All right, I think my Instagram link is now live, so I will be putting my phone down in a second so I can actually talk to everyone. But I just it's been a little difficult. So because of that, I've kind of just I've kind of been doing the same thing. Like lately with the review side of things, I'll just upload my review video the second I get out of the theater, or I'll record it, go home, upload that, because my review videos are usually fairly short, so they can upload faster. And then on Sundays, I've been posting the what I've bought or what I've gotten, because this coming Sunday, I've got some subscriber mail coming in on Friday, I think. So I've been doing those, and those videos have been doing pretty well. And I don't know if both of you can say if this has happened to you guys or not, but on my end, while my new release videos do get decent views, when it goes to like some of the other analytics with like some of my videos, I actually gain more subscribers from my review videos, and my retention is better with my collection videos. So it's like, yeah, they get views and people watch them, but normally from the looks of it, it kind of looks like people are just kind of fast forwarding to the parts they want to see instead of actually watching the entire video. And like I said, I don't really gain a lot of subscribers from those. So while, yeah, they can be fun sometimes, given that I'm guaranteed 2 days off during the week, and Tuesday being an absolute guarantee, sometimes the other day of the week is not always guaranteed. Yeah, I've had 50-50 luck with shorts. I think I'll have some that have almost no views whatsoever. And then my most viewed video on here is actually me doing a little teaser when I went to go see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like, that one's got like 3,000 views, which is pretty good on here because I've only got a handful of videos that have went over 1,000. So they're kind of 50-50. It's just sometimes I don't think about uploading a short. It's just I usually have the main video in mind. And I think that's kind of hurt me on the shorts algorithm a little bit. Excuse me. But overall, like, I'm still going to do like physical media videos because the Dollar Tree hauls do well. Whenever I do a Big Lots haul, like if I get a decent number of stuff, Big Lots has shared one of my videos before. So there's still going to be physical media stuff. It's just the new release videos. When the only place I can record, I kind of have to center my entire like new release hunt around them. It kind of sucks, and sometimes it's almost more like, I have to go out now. And then also on my end, I like this week specifically, I did an online order for Fright Night for the Steelbook. So that'll be coming in hopefully this week. I'm going to be honest, I've been a little under the weather this week, so I haven't really been checking my tracking package, my tracking numbers and all that stuff. But that's coming in. And Superman and Lois Season 2 is coming in. And then tomorrow after work, I'll probably be actually going over to Best Buy. But that's pretty much it. Just part of it's just the exhaustion of having to focus solely on Best Buy, as well as Walmart being unpredictable and Target cutting back on their physical media. Well, at least on their movie side. Yeah, I still need to pre-order that. I had a feeling that something was going to happen when there was that whole Walmart had it for $22. It's like, a lot of people are going to get let down with that. But I want to get it just so I can have the whole original franchise on 4K, but at the same time, The Curse of Michael Myers doesn't suck. H2O, I don't mind. I did rewatch Resurrection a while back, and I can't say I liked it as much as I did when I was younger, because I actually saw Resurrection might have been one of the ones I saw in theaters. But those are the main ones for now, at least. And also, just want to give you guys a heads up. Later this month is when Bodies comes out, and I'm going to do an updated collection or updated A24 collection video because one, I've got a better camera now, so the video audio quality doesn't suck. And two, I've managed to find quite a bit of A24 stuff over the last few months for almost nothing. So with that collection video, I'm going to be doing a giveaway because I've got, where is it? I recently found a copy of Midsummer with a Slip, so I've got that, and I found a cheap copy of Hereditary, so I'm going to do a giveaway for both of those mid-90s, and I've got a couple digital copies I'm going to also throw in there for the giveaway part. So that'll be the next one, and I've already got my big plan one for whenever I eventually hit 1,000 subscribers. Yes, I loved watching Pearl. That was a very good movie. Only thing that kind of sucks on my end, though, is I already know I'm going to get both slipcovers, like the regular version and the Walmart exclusive. And since one of the movies I am going to be showing off for what I watched is X, I kind of hate that I now only have one copy of X, but I'm going to have 2 copies of Pearl. And that would mean likely having to import a copy of X, and I have not done that recently just because shipping prices have went through the roof since the pandemic. So likely going to find a way to get my hands on the German steelbook for X so I can have 2 copies of X and 2 copies of Pearl. I don't know why I'm OCD about that stuff, but for whatever reason I am. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start showing off like some of the stuff I've watched during the month. And I'll be checking over here to see who all comments and stuff. I'm going to start off with the DVDs. Then I watch 2 TV shows throughout the month, and then my Blu-rays. For Queen and Country with Denzel, got this one at Dollar Tree. It's got Denzel in it. I forget what it was. I saw something with Denzel. I was like, hey, I have a movie with Denzel that I have yet to watch. I should probably watch that. So it's not bad, but you can definitely tell he's not quite at the caliber that we all know him to be at now. But overall, pretty good movie. The Barge People. I watched this because of its short runtime. It sucks. Simple as that. I got it for $1 at Dollar Tree, and I wanted something to watch, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, if you got an hour and 20 minutes to kill, go for it. If not, you're not missing out on anything. Rabid. I definitely prefer the original. This one, it had a very slow start, and by the time it got to the ending, I was kind of already a little bit deflated. The Devil's Gate. I used to love my IFC Midnight titles. I don't know what it is, but IFC Midnight have kind of dropped in quality the last few years, and this one wasn't as good. I was expecting better. And I did have my review for Hocus Pocus 2 go up on Monday, I think. So once this is over with, once the live stream is done, I'll have a pinned comment down below for my review for Hocus Pocus 2. So to get ready for that, I did watch the original. As you can tell from my shirt, I'm definitely more of a Nightmare Before Christmas person than a Hocus Pocus person. I don't hate this movie. It's just, it's not my movie. Simple as that. I don't know what else to say beyond that part. So for TV shows, I watched the original Addams Family. Once they announced that Wednesday has a release date, I was like, I'm going to go through my Addams Family stuff. So for starters, there's a lot of Addams Family stuff that is not available anywhere, which kind of sucks because I am a huge fan of the Addams Family franchise. And I would love to be able to watch everything before Wednesday comes out, so I can just kind of do a video giving my thoughts on everything. Because I did not realize how many things have been changed in the Addams Family, like canon, over the years. Like, for example, in this, Fester is Morticia's uncle, whereas the movies from the 90s that I grew up with, Fester is Gomez's younger brother. And this, Wednesday's the younger sibling, where most of the stuff I've seen, Pugsley's the younger sibling. Overall, pretty good. And this definitely made me want to go back and check out some stuff from John Astin. He steals this show almost every time he's on screen. And anytime he can do something where he steps out of the, well, I don't want to say out of the norm, given that he plays Gomez Addams in this, seeing him get to like stretch his acting muscles a little bit more was pretty freaking cool. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes, this had to be rewatched recently. I forget what it was I saw, but I think it was something where people were mentioning about how evil Zed was when he took over for Rita Repulsa. and how awesome his Zord Serpentera was. So I was like, I have this box set. I don't remember Zed being that dark. I also don't remember Serpentera being in there that much. So Serpentera was actually in more episodes than I personally remember. And yeah, Zed has a darker side to him compared to Rita. Check your local Walmart. I got mine for either 35 or 39. And it also has two bonus discs. And it's got a fair amount of special features. But yeah, definitely check your local Walmart, because even my local Walmart does not have much of a physical media section these days. And they've got a fair number of copies of this. But yeah, seeing Tommy become the White Ranger was cool. And I just noticed something that I should probably show off before I show off some of the other Blu-rays. There was one issue I did have, which I'm going to get to in just a second. And the ending does remind me I do kind of need to give Zeo a rewatch at some point, because I don't fully remember everything from Zeo. Because Zeo was the last one I watched as a kid. I've heard about that, because they were going to put Tommy or Jason David Frank in another show. And for whatever reason, most likely I'm going to assume ratings, because I know, me being my age, I was actually like a kid when they were airing new episodes of the original. And when they took Tommy off, you want to see some pissed off 5-year-olds tell them that Tommy's not coming back. That was one of the most upsetting things for a lot of kids my age, me included, was Tommy not being there. So I'm assuming that whoever was making the show, at least for North America, informed Saban Productions, hey, y'all need to find a way to bring Jason David Frank back. So, because initially they said it took place between 2 and 3, I did also rewatch the movie. Yeah. And when he came back as the Black Ranger, I could be wrong, but I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time. So obviously I wasn't like telling everyone like, yeah, I'm watching the new Power Ranger show. And then I forget how it got brought up, but me and another one of my friends ended up like telling each other like, yeah, I've been watching the new Power Rangers because Tommy's back. So yeah, I mean, the fact that I was still willing to go back and rewatch it or watch a whole new series at, like I said, I was either 14 or 15, I think, when Dino Thunder came out. But the movie, I've got to say, it's weird because the movie actually has a budget. I hated it because before Tommy was on the show, Jason was my favorite. Like, I'm pretty sure that one of my parents have a picture of me as the Red Ranger one year for Christmas. And one of my neighbors also really liked Zach because his parents were like into dance and stuff. And Zach was always like doing like dance moves and stuff before they had to like go fight putties and stuff. So that really sucked. And I actually remember rewatching a couple of episodes when I forget how old I was, but I remember hearing about when the actress who played Trini passed away and being upset about that just because Power Rangers and Batman were like two of the biggest things of my childhood. So finding out that someone that you like grew up watching and went home after school for years to watch had passed away, and at that time, like it hadn't even been like 10 years or so. So it only been like I was like 5 or 6 when I was watching the original, and I think I was 12 or 13 when that happened. So it wasn't even that much time had passed since then. And that was weird. But I've also got to say, I was one of the conventions I was at recently because I do Comic-Con stuff to promote my main thing where I actually make money. And Austin St. John was one of the guests at that convention. Hearing him just talk about some stuff and then like just trying to have a good time with people is pretty cool too. So the only thing that does kind of suck is that with like the remaining cast members, I've read that Austin St. John that plays Jason and Jason David Frank that plays Tommy, those two aren't exactly friends in real life. So chances are you're not going to be seeing any of like all of the main cast together at conventions and stuff. I know Jason's done some stuff with Amy Jo Scott, who played Kimberly, and David Yost, who played Billy. And Austin has done stuff with Walt, who played Zach. And I think David has also joined those two as well on some stuff. So check out any of their Comic-Con panels if you get a chance, because those are really cool, because you see them just kind of like remembering some stuff and like trying to remember the good times, but then also like seeing the effect that they've had on so many kids on an entire generation. So that was pretty cool. But with this, I have to say, so the movie actually had a budget, but I think I actually liked the story that they told in season 3 on the Power Rangers becoming ninjas more than I did with the movie, which is kind of odd. All right, so now I'm going to get to the Blu-rays that I have watched throughout the month of September, which is quite a bit. So I had to pick this up recently because I was watching Durant Cinema's new release video, and Andrew, aka Commander Nerd, picked this up, and I own a good portion of the Vestron titles. And I remember really liking the first movie. I didn't realize that there were 4. I knew there were 3. I did not realize there were 4. Unfortunately, it goes from not bad to getting through the 4th one was not easy. But there's 4 of the movies that I have watched throughout September. Sonic 2. I personally enjoyed this movie. It was cool seeing Idris Elba as Knuckles. I will say, though, one of the things that did kind of bother me was there's a bonus short with this one. And they got someone else to voice Knuckles, and getting someone who's not Idris Elba to sound like Idris Elba was not easy. It was a fun short. Like, the story they told was pretty good. But that was distracting. As far as the movie itself, I liked the movie. It was fun. One of the more crowded theaters I've been at that's not a Marvel movie. So, out of the stuff I've seen in theaters last few months, this is probably one of the most crowded ones. Hey Ryan, what's up? Yeah, the Sonic Steelbook is pretty nice. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned why I haven't done a new release video recently, and the last little bit, I've just been showing off everything I've watched throughout the month of September. But yeah, I like the fact that it also has a little bit of an homage to the Sega Genesis box arts that they did back in the day. But the biggest issue I had with the movie was just I felt like it could have been a little bit shorter. And I know that's probably the same thing I complain about in almost every movie review I do. But when you got something that's aimed for younger audiences, I'm not saying they don't have the attention span. I'm just saying sometimes shorter is better in those cases. I watched Jason X this month. So I could not tell you why I decided that I wanted to watch this. But for whatever reason, I decided that I was going to watch Jason X. I can definitely say this is one of my least favorite movies. But unlike some of the previous Jason movies that came before this, at least I was able to laugh at how bad it was compared to some of the other ones where I'm just like, what the hell were y'all thinking? Also, I'm pretty sure all y'all can agree we need a Jason reboot at some point. Like, with all the other, if Halloween can have a successful continuation, we've had successful Scream continuation. I don't see why we can't get a reboot of Jason. I'd say at least leave the first two movies alone. Like, have something take place like after those. Because the stuff in the first movie, I think they did pretty good with as far as the story goes. And then Jason actually coming back. Yeah, I think I know what the issue is. So up until I want to say it's either Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X, all those were made by Paramount, and they were all made by different studios in Paramount. Some of those studios don't exist anymore, which is one of the reasons there's always rights issues with stuff. And then I'd have to double check Jason Goes to Hell, but Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the god-awful Friday the 13th reboot in 2009 were all made by Warner Brothers. So now Warner Brothers has a little bit of a hand of ownership, and Warner Brothers is going through crap right now. So I think it's just the whole who has ownership of the franchise and who's able to do what. I think that's one of the reasons they did a video game, was because they were able to kind of do that without any issues, because making a video game is a lot different than making a movie. But overall, like, that needs a reboot, and I would like to see something else happen with Nightmare on Elm Street. But I do think we need a new Freddy. Nothing against Robert Englund. He was great. And some of the movies I've seen him in over the years, he's still great. But that was also 40 years ago. He's getting a little bit up there in age. I do think we need someone a little bit younger to now take on the mantle of Freddy. And with Jason, they've always had different people, either be it stunt actors or Kane Hodder did it for one or two movies. Like, they can get away with that. I also watched Crimes of the Future because I finally got my copy in. I definitely gotta say it's still an odd movie for me, but I think I definitely enjoyed it a little bit more the second time around. Just because I think I paid a little bit more attention because when I was in the theater watching it, there was a couple of times. Yeah, I think that's actually where I got mine. My local Barnes and Noble had a few copies in as well, but the issue I have with Barnes and Noble is their price tag stickers are a bitch to get off of the slipcovers. So if I don't like getting stuff over there just because it either leaves sticker residue or it rips the slip, and then you got price tag here, some random sticker here, giving a percentage off, some sticker talking about the Barnes Noble membership. And not all of those stickers are easy to get off. And I did not realize this until I bought this, but I actually own a good number of Cronenberg movies. So once I get the few that I don't have yet, I'm probably going to do a Cronenberg collection video. Spoiler alert, there, if I do show that off, long story short, one of the movies I own is a bootleg. So I'm not sure if I want to show that off or not because I don't want to be like promoting a bootleg. And then I also don't want to deal with like any copyright issues or anything like that if I show it and then someone's like, hey, that's not a legal copy. I don't want to deal with that stuff for a lot of different reasons. So I'll figure that out once I get the remaining Cronenberg movies I don't own. I watched X to get ready for Pearl. I think I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. This is probably one of my favorite horror films for the year so far. Probably going to say that I like The Black Phone more, and Smile is definitely up there after seeing that very, very intense feature. But X, I really enjoyed for a lot of different reasons. It's got a lot of cast members that do really, really good with the roles they were given. And also, as I've mentioned, I have no idea how many times Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite horror film, and this movie very much takes elements from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so that made me enjoy it that much more. And one thing I did not realize until, I was mentioning earlier that the thing that bugs me with Pearl having a Walmart exclusive slip is I'm probably going to double dip. And I hate the fact that I'm going to have only one copy of X, but 2 copies of Pearl. And the only other existing copy of X that I know of is the German 4K Steelbook. And that's going to be a lot of money to import that. Because I accidentally kicked my table. Like, I don't know how much it's going to be to ship it from Germany. And I don't remember how many copies Diabolic had in their online store. But one of the things I didn't realize with Pearl was that the ending also took from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I can't believe I did not realize that, given that one of the most iconic scenes in Texas Chainsaw Massacre was in Pearl. And I was like, when I was watching it, I didn't realize until afterwards. I'm like, how did I miss that? And there's definitely something else with Pearl that I want to talk about, but at the same time, I don't want to end up giving anything away for anyone that's watching that may have not seen it yet. But I do have a slight little nitpick towards Pearl, but overall, Pearl was a great movie as well. I saw that in theaters opening weekend. And it's supposed to start playing at the second run theater in my area this week. I probably won't be seeing it this weekend because I've got some time off where I got to do some other stuff, and I'm probably going to be watching Werewolf at Midnight. That's going to be my weekly new review this week, because I just keep hearing too many negative things about Amsterdam to want to shell out the money for it at the moment. I watched VHS 94. I am aware that some of the shorts throughout the VHS franchise they're cheesy, but I personally love this franchise, and I have quite a few 30-day free trials for Shudder, and my copy of VHS 94 came with a different thing where I can get, I want to say it's 2 or 3 months for a discount price. So before VHS 99 comes out, I haven't done a ranking video in a while. So my next ranking video is probably going to be for the VHS franchise, the original 3, Siren, and 94, to lead up to when VHS 99 comes out. I actually really enjoyed this one. It had some of the better shorts since the second one, because I absolutely hate the third one, and Siren wasn't a found footage thing. Like, the Ratma one was pretty good. Just my personal opinion. And then, like, the overarching story throughout it, while it started off kind of it did get better, so that was pretty cool. I also like the fact that I got a slip for this one, because I got this only a few weeks ago. And I did do the reversible artwork because I do like the reversible artwork. It's one of the things I like. Shudder does a pretty good job with their reversible artwork when they make it. If you like found footage, the first one's not bad. And the first one actually has shorts from Adam Wingard, who made You're Next, which is a pretty good one. Unfortunately, he also made the Death Note live action movie. So take with that info as you will. And he did Godzilla vs. Kong. And then Ty West also did 1 or 2 shorts in the first 2. The second movie is really good. Highly recommend that one. You don't necessarily need to watch them all together. The third one sucks. They did have a short that they didn't put in the third one that's on the DVD and Blu-ray as a bonus feature. And unfortunately, that is the only good short from them, is the one that did not make viral. And I personally didn't like Siren. I don't know what else to say beyond that. Like, I just didn't like it. And then 94 was really good, so I'm definitely going to check out 99 once it's out. So, Tragedy of Macbeth. So, I think this was one of the other reasons I wanted to check out for Queen and Country, was because I think Denzel did great as Macbeth. I definitely like the black and white aesthetics. It definitely made it stand out a little bit more. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I noticed that Mia Goth mentioned that Pearl was initially meant to be in black and white. And for whatever reason, A24 wanted it to be in color, which led to Ty West just going like full-on 30s Technicolor with it. But given that this came out at the tail end of last year, Come On came out this year, there's a chance that this and Come On both being black and white may have had a reason with Pearl being in color. So if that's true, thank you, A24, because Pearl looks better in color than I think it would have him. I also pre-ordered the Marcel the Shell one. I'm going to be doing an updated A24 collection video this month. And I was specifically holding out for Marcel the Shell and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I wanted that flexi disc that they had, but I got on Instagram a little too late that day because, like I mentioned, I haven't been feeling 100% lately. So I kind of missed out on the freebie for being an A24 All Access member. But those are the two things that I'm kind of waiting on. As far as Macbeth goes, I know On the Rocks was an Apple exclusive. And I think it got a release like a year after it was an exclusive on Apple Plus. So my guess is that Tragedy of Macbeth will come out either Christmas this year or first quarter next year. And I'm assuming that given that it's directed by one of the Coen brothers and stars Denzel Washington, it'll get like a regular release, not an exclusive release. However, I know that this one has kind of gotten mixed responses. I personally liked it, but I also like the story of Macbeth too. So it could go either way on this one. And the other Coen brother, I think it was Joel that directed that one, and Ethan is directing a documentary that's coming out. Yeah, the black and white definitely made for a really good aesthetic to it. There were a couple of people throughout the movie that I felt were miscast. Like they definitely could have done a little bit more on that part, but outside of some people feeling like they didn't belong there, I think that was really the only issue I had. The Whole Truth with Keanu Reeves. I got this at one of my local bookstores for $2. It sucks. Simple as that. The Matrix is probably my all-time favorite film, and I love the John Wick franchise. But let's be honest here. Keanu Reeves is not going to be winning any Oscars in his career. Like, he's good with some drama stuff, but he's not a great actor. He's a good actor, but he's not great. And I think this required someone that was great. And I just couldn't believe him being an attorney. That was a little off to me. So, not really much else to say on that one. Underwater. I got this one for $8.99 at Best Buy. I actually like this movie. It was pretty suspenseful. The third act actually felt like it made sense because I know some of the reviews out there when this first came out was that it went over the top with the third act. I personally thought it was good. Like, I enjoyed it. I probably should have given it a little bit more attention than I did. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I have not checked out the bonus features because while this does have on-disc bonus features, the digital copy comes with additional bonus features. So I will be checking those out at some point, I guess. Just hadn't really thought about it. All right, so I watched Daylight during Mid-Level Media's Stallone month, so this one I'll be talking about Dante's Peak. So I actually saw this one in theaters when I was a kid, and I remember it being really, really good. Looking at it now, I think that Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton did good, but like some of the natural disaster movies of the 90s, it goes a little too over the top. And the 90s didn't really feel like they were going as over the top as they did with 80s movies. So while I did enjoy it as a kid, and I still think it's a good movie, I can't say I enjoyed it as much as I did when I was younger. New Jack City. I got this at FYE in my area before it closed down. I'm still kind of hoping that the FYE will reopen in my area, because the next city over, they closed it down, and then like a year later, they ended up reopening it. I mean, it was in a smaller section in that mall, but it was still reopened, and it's still somewhere that when I'm in that area, I can go over there and look at stuff for physical media. But I ended up getting this brand new for $3. And it had been a little while since I'd watched it, and I still enjoy this movie. Like, everything about this movie was pretty solid. The second Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. I liked it, but there was a couple of scenes where it felt a little long. Don't really know what else to say beyond that part. I'm still holding out for a third movie, but yeah, there's also been some issues on Guy Ritchie's end as well. Like, at one point, I think his next movie was supposed to be Aladdin 2. And then after the whole Will Smith slapping Chris Rock thing, he just dropped it. Then there was rumors that to make up not doing that movie, that he was going to team up with Disney for a Hercules movie. Robert Downey Jr. has been teasing the third movie for this for years. And Jude Law has been kind of quiet on all fronts, so I'm not sure. Like, I personally want one. I know I will see it in theaters because I saw the first two in theaters opening weekend. But for whatever reason, we have not heard anything about it. Strangers 2. I like the first one. I can't say I love it as much as everyone else does. I am kind of curious what they're going to be doing with this reboot that I've heard about, because they're supposed to be doing a reboot. And the thing that I think I hated the most with this movie is the fact that some of the best scenes were in the trailers. So it had some good suspenseful moments, but chances are you probably already saw those suspenseful moments because they were in the trailer, and it kind of took away from the movie. But I did like it. It didn't overstay its welcome. They got to where they needed to by the end of the movie. Yeah, I did the same thing. I got this for $3 at Big Lots. Yeah, I will try to find the link and I'll send it to you probably later on today, because I forget where it was I read it at. And it's not going to be Universal handling things now. It's going to be Lionsgate, I think, which I'm okay with because I've noticed a lot of the stuff I've been buying recently have been from Lionsgate. And on the horror side of things, Universal hasn't really put a lot of focus on some of their stuff that's not from Blumhouse. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I bought all 5 of the 4K Halloween movies last year when they came out. I'm glad I did because I've got the slip box, and I've noticed I've only seen it so far at Best Buy, but it does look like that Screen Factory is dropping the boxes for slip covers. So I'm glad I managed to get all 5 of the boxes before they ended up doing the slip covers. I had been wanting to rewatch this one for a while now because I remember I would not give it the time of day because of I want to, but at the same time, I don't want to spend $100 for that set. Like, I don't even think I spent $100 for all 5 for the original 5. If I did, it's pretty close to like right at $100. And at least I do like 1 and 2. Curse, I have only seen the theatrical cut recently, and it wasn't bad. Resurrection, the last time I tried watching it, was not great. So it will end up getting bought just so I can have the complete original series on 4K. And I'm definitely going to be rewatching 1 and 2 at least before Halloween Ends comes out next week. So I know those 2 are getting rewatched at some point over the next few days. Halloween 3, I am going to probably have a review up for this one probably next week just because of the whole Halloween Ends coming out next week. Because I never gave this a proper chance when I was younger because it was like, oh, well, Michael Myers ain't in it, so it sucks. And going into it for the first time ever, watching it, knowing I need to look at this as a different movie than it's the one that doesn't feature Michael Myers. I've got my opinions and thoughts on it. Like I said, I'm gonna probably share those next week. I will say the transfer looks pretty good though. Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. I'm going to be honest. I watched it because it's short. It is an hour and 17 minutes, and I just wanted something to watch because I'd mainly been going back and forth at the time between Power Rangers and Addams Family, so I wanted to actually watch a movie, and this one's short. I love it. It's a great movie. I have fun watching it. The people that actually made the Public Enemies comic have praised this movie, and even like Apocalypse, where they introduced like their version of Supergirl. So I'm not hating on this movie by any means. I'm just saying that I watched it because I needed something short to watch. As I've noticed, a lot of the stuff I've picked up over the last few months are 2.5 hours or more. And finally, the most recent Shaft movie. I like the Shaft movies, but this one focuses more on I don't want to say too much right now because, like I said, I'm going to do a review video for Season of the Witch probably next week. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I'll leave it at that. With one of the things you did say, I will say that's probably one reason people should watch the movie on Blu-ray instead of 4K. Yeah, as far as Shaft goes, it kind of focuses on Shaft's son, who's not like the ultra-violent person like Shaft or the original Shaft were. So it it feels like a PC version of Shaft, which is weird because it's still rated R. It didn't feel like a Shaft movie, even though it actually is a Shaft movie. I got it because I got it at Dollar Tree. Simple as that. But that's everything I've watched so far. For this month, I'm going to go through my playlist to see what all I have actually watched in theaters this month, because I know I've mentioned Pearl. All right. So, first movie I saw in theaters for the month of September was Barbarian. I don't know if I'm going to see Amsterdam right away because I have some other plans I've got this weekend. And I've kind of already got my mindset that this week's like new release review video is going to be Werewolf at Midnight, because I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to be keeping Disney Plus yet. So I kind of want to go on ahead and get that watched while I've still got my Disney Plus like cheap trial. I kind of want to see it because the trailers have looked amazing. I love Christian Bale. I love Margot Robbie. But all the reviews I've read is that the movie's not good. And lately I've noticed myself agreeing more so than disagreeing with some of the critics. Like, out of the movies I've seen like this month in theaters, the only one where I've noticed my thoughts are more positive have been with Greatest Beer Run Ever. Usually I've noticed my thoughts are kind of similar. So I'm probably going to wait on Amsterdam. If I do see it, I might see it on Sunday, but it's going to depend on some stuff first. But I will say, as far as like new review videos, like absolutely like brand new to watch, I'm checking out Werewolf at Midnight tomorrow. Like, I've already got it planned with it being like a shorter runtime. I'm probably going to watch a little bit of it before I go into work if it goes up at midnight. And then I'll be able to finish watching it on my lunch break. So that's the current plan. That way, once I get home, I can record the review and it'll be up hopefully before lunchtime tomorrow. Yeah. First one I saw was Barbarian, which I was really, really hyped for. But overall, I didn't like the third act, and that kind of made me have like not as much of a positive review as everyone else did. Like, I liked the movie. I thought it was good. It had some pretty cool scares. It combined elements from movies I never thought I would see a combination of. I'm going to leave it at that. I do have a spoiler review. I'll post that as a pinned comment down below after the live stream's over, where I go a little bit more into thoughts on it. Obviously, I saw Pearl because I've been talking about it quite a bit throughout the stream. Don't Worry, Darling. Up until the third act, I didn't hate it. It was just once the third act happened, things got a little predictable. And funny thing with when I was reviewing it. So when I reviewed it, that was like whatever time it was I got out of the theater. It wasn't quite sunset time, but I was in a spot where I kind of had to readjust like where my camera was in my car. So I had it where I was like looking out my window and I was staring like this, and I'm just like talking about the movie. And someone was going to their car and thought I was recording them. And yeah, that made for a very interesting thing. And that's why I kind of rushed the ending of my review for anyone that saw my review for Don't Worry, Darling. So if the ending of my review feels a little rushed, that's why. I saw Greatest Beer Run Ever. So the theater in my area is a Regal, and they did a mystery showing movie. And the only thing they told us was that it was rated R, and they gave us the runtime. And I'm going to be honest, because they made such a big deal on it being a mystery, I thought that was like a key, like we were going to be seeing a mystery movie. So I thought we were going in there seeing the Knives Out sequel, because I've read that it's supposed to be getting a limited theatrical run before it goes on Netflix, so they can have it out there for award season. So it ended up being Greatest Beer Run Ever, which wasn't a bad movie. I just want to clarify that now. It was not a bad movie by any means. I get why it's going to streaming services instead of getting a full-on theatrical run. Like, most war movies are heavy-handed dramas, and this was a very lighthearted movie. But I definitely think it's better than what critics have been saying. And I think part of the reason they don't like it is because most war movies are heavy-handed dramas, and we got a lighthearted movie. But even throughout the movie, they still made sure to remind you, this guy's in Vietnam, and Vietnam's at war. Only thing that I did say, because I did get a little survey thing from the Regal afterwards, was to kind of give my thoughts on like something I thought they could have done better or worse at. I don't think they should give away like who's in the movie, because if they say, oh, so-and-so's in this movie, then most of us are going to know what the movie is. That's almost giving it away. Unfortunately, in my area, it's pretty much just all Regals. The theater in my area is a Regal. The one in the next city over is a Regal. The closest big city in my area has an AMC, but from where I live to that particular theater is like an hour and 10 minutes. And it's a smaller theater. Like the Regal in my area, I think, has 12 screens. The one in the next city over has 16. The AMC only has 8. I personally would like an AMC to open up in this area, because I've had a lot of negative experiences at Regal over the last few months. Dang, I wish we had 20 screens, because all the special like horror screenings they're doing this month, the only one that is coming to my town, we're getting 2 days where we get to see one showing of Lost Boys both nights. And probably an unpopular opinion here, I don't like the Lost Boys. I don't know. I just never connected with the movie. I didn't like it as much as everyone else has. Like, I wanted to see Trick or Treat, and it's not playing in this area. Even the original Halloween. Glad to know I'm not alone on that one, because when I forget who it was, but it wasn't like another YouTuber. It was someone I know personally said something about, hey, you know that we're getting 4Ks of Poltergeist and Lost Boys? And I said, I'll probably get Poltergeist at some point. Like, you would have thought I had commit blasphemy when I made it clear I was not picking up Lost Boys. But yeah, even with Halloween Ends coming out next week, we're not even getting any limited showings of Halloween Ends. we're getting 2 Nights of Lost Boys. No Poltergeist. They did play Jaws last month in my area, but the limited showings are very minimal because they always do like those after school specials where they play like older PG movies for the kids when they first get out of school, because my local theater is inside a mall, and right across the mall is a bouncy castle place for little kids. So I think there's like some synergy going on there. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist of retail. I'm just saying I think that's probably why most of our limited screening stuff is always kids' movies. And after Greatest Beer Run Ever, I saw Smile, because I technically, even though my review went up October 1st, I did see it September 30th, which was definitely one of the, it wasn't a packed theater by any means, but there was definitely more people watching that than some of the other movies I've seen recently. And even though I technically saw it this month, I did also check out Hocus Pocus 2, which will get mentioned a little bit more for what I watched for October. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I watched. Ryan, since I think you missed it, earlier I mentioned the issue that I've been having behind the lack of new release videos on Tuesdays has just been a combination of things. With the only place I'm really allowed to record without getting in trouble is Best Buy. I kind of have to center my new release Tuesday haul around Best Buy. And at the beginning of the year, when I changed it so I would be off on Tuesdays, they opened at 10. So it was easy to go over there, then go over to Walmart, because Walmart's not that far away from Best Buy in my area, see what they have up, then go home, put the video together, and it's usually up at a decent time. Best Buy changed their hours. They now open at 11 in my area, which means I have to change everything around for that. And one of the things I've noticed, I don't know if it's just because of physical media being given the treatment it's been given recently, but they don't always have everything up at 11, meaning I'm usually not going over there until closer to 12. And I try to give myself 2 hours to look through everything at Best Buy and at Walmart. I occasionally go to Target, but one of the other issues too has been Target cut back their... Yeah, I've noticed that in some of her videos as well. And I believe Ken from Mid-Level Media, I know he's actually started cutting back on some of his new release videos. But while I mean, for me, it's easy content, but at the same time, with Target cutting back, Walmart doesn't always have their stuff up, because one of the things I mentioned earlier was it'll be Tuesday when the stuff's supposed to go out. And there was one day I was looking for, I forget what I was looking for, but it wasn't on the shelf. And it wasn't on the shelf until Friday. And Walmart, when I went to ask about something that I knew came out that day, yeah, I've been doing that lately. One of the things I've been doing, and I've noticed it's been doing pretty decent as far as views go, is just doing a weekly roundup purchase haul. Like the last few Sundays, I've posted a what I've purchased video from either like Best Buy. Earlier, I showed off some stuff I bought at a used bookstore. So I've been going to, I check out my used bookstores like once a month, because they sometimes get stuff, they sometimes don't. So I've been doing those, and those videos have been doing pretty well. So I'm probably going to keep doing those. And they've been doing better. And one of the other things I've mentioned too, like on the behind the scenes stuff, like, yes, the new release videos get good views. Like, one of my most viewed videos was me bitching about not getting my hands on the Halloween Kill Still book when it came out back in January or February. It got good views, yes. But the retention sucks on most of them, and I rarely ever gain subscribers from them. I actually gain more subscribers from my review videos, even though they don't always get the same views as my physical media videos do. I tend to gain subscribers from more reviews than the physical media hauls. And that's not even just the new release one. That's like the Big Lots hauls, the Dollar Tree. Well, Dollar Tree hauls are a little different. I do tend to gain subscribers from those. But for the most part, like, I also have to look at the analytical stuff too, because I do want the channel to grow. And I notice like what the average watch time is for some of those videos. I forget which one it was, but there was one of my new release videos where like the average watch time was like a minute and a half, and the video was like 14 minutes long. So it kind of felt like people were just either checking out what I purchased or just checking out the stuff they wanted to see, whatever it is in those videos. I don't want to always check to see like which parts peak and spike. But yep, I know that feeling. I have had that happen over here. And I've even had it happen on my main channel, which sucks because on my main channel where I talk more about book stuff, like my core audience over there like the longer videos. And when you see like something like very short for a half-hour long video, that sucks sometimes. So I definitely get that. But that's one of the reasons I've been doing more reviews, is because even though my Smile review didn't do as well as some of the other ones, and my Barbarian spoiler review has had very, very crap responses, like, the analytics for those are still better. Like, I have better retention for them. I have better, I always tend to gain, even if it's just a subscriber, I still gain more subscribers than I do for some of these other ones. And apologies, I have to check my phone for a second because I just got a notification on something. Okay. Yeah, like I said, with my copy of VHS 94, I didn't get the free 30-day trial that's in all the other ones. I got a different thing where I'm getting a discount for so many months. And like I said, I'm probably not keeping Disney Plus. Like, I've kept up with She-Hulk, and I watched Hocus Pocus 2. And I watched the I Am Groot shorts. So I'm most likely not keeping Disney Plus. So I do need to sign up for Shudder because I do watch more horror than excuse me. Like, outside of like the comic book stuff, horror is definitely a very clear number 2 on like the stuff I watch the most of. So the fact that I haven't signed up for it yet is kind of blasphemous on my end. Especially given like all the horror movies that I have either bought, watched on Amazon Prime. Like, probably tonight I'm going to be watching The Terrifier, which is on Amazon's freebie, and I even checked on Vudu where it's available for free. I know that's not a Shudder title, but just being a horror fan in general, I should be signed up for Shudder, and I'm not. But I definitely need to, like, I've been trying to do like a healthy combination of both physical media and reviews, because that's one of the things I wanted to do when I first started the Let's Watch a Movie channel from the get-go, was to have a combination of both. because a lot of the movie people I watch do one or the other. And like I said, the physical media stuff, I do tend to get good views on those. Like one of my Dollar Tree hauls has like 1,000 views. And while only 2 of my reviews have like that high of a number, I still have I still have better analytics on those. I don't know if it's because it's shorter videos or like I think with Greatest Beer Run Ever, the fact that that was revealed as the mystery movie, the fact that people were still waiting for Smile to come out and people were still watching Don't Worry Darling when it came out. I think that also had a hand in it. But also, like right now with my schedule, it's easy for me to go to the theaters on Fridays and see like the earliest showing possible of a movie on a Friday. And I can still record the video in my car and be home and have it uploaded in a decent amount of time. It just didn't happen last week with Smile because of a very nasty storm, which I'm assuming was us just getting affected by like whatever was happening with Hurricane Ian. Because that usually tends to happen whenever hurricanes hit mainland. Even though Virginia is still a couple of states up from Florida, we still get weather too. And it stayed like that until Sunday night, Monday morning. Probably not. Personally, it doesn't look appealing to me. But also, with the exception of Marcel the Shell, a lot of my reviews that are aimed for like younger audiences, like my Sonic 2 review, I don't think did as well as some of my other ones. And my League of Super Pets one didn't do as well either. So probably not, because honestly, I forgot about it coming out. And if I do end up seeing something, it's most likely going to be Amsterdam, even if it's sometime during next week or even next week. No, it won't be next weekend because next weekend is when Halloween Ends comes out. So probably not on that one. But from the looks of it, I'm sure your son will like it. Then after Halloween Ends, I think is Black Adam, which on the comic book side of things, I actually am one of those people that prefer DC to Marvel. And I'm not saying like movie wise, like with being a comic book person, I grew up reading DC stuff more than Marvel. I have my reservations about Black Adam for a lot of reasons. One of them being that the source material is pretty much being thrown to the wayside, and Black Adam has a pretty cool story. Yeah, I'm going to end up seeing Black Adam first. I might see Ticket to Paradise, but it's just going to depend on what else is going on that week, because it's not just the negative reviews that's preventing me from seeing Amsterdam this week. Like I've got like something I was supposed to do either Sunday or Monday. I'm now doing Friday. And I don't know if that's going to take up just Friday night, if it's going to go into Saturday, that sort of thing. And also, if I remember correctly, this weekend WWE has one of their pay-per-views. And with 2 of my friends being huge wrestling fans, like I might end up joining them and seeing that because it has not been unbearably horrible lately. So it's not just the negative reviews. It's also the fact that I've got some plans with some other people, as well as I may or may not join my friends and seeing some stuff. And then I'm going to be honest, I have to double check and see what else comes out in the coming weeks after that. Because I'm just kind of focused on Halloween Ends coming out next week, and then Black Adam the week after that because I want to rewatch some of the DCEU movies, especially given one of the rumors I've heard that's attached to Black Adam. Yes, I am absolutely seeing Pray for the Devil. Just because I kind of like those weird, more Exorcist type movies. Tar, I kind of want to see because the trailers look intriguing. But I'm likely going to see Pray for the Devil first. One, just because of it being October and being more into wanting to see the horror stuff first. But also, I feel like I've got a better idea of what I'm getting myself into seeing. Oh, that's going to be a problem on my end if Tar is 3 hours long. Because one movie I know I absolutely want to see this year is Babylon, but Babylon is like 3+ hours, and that is a little overwhelming for me at the moment. Because I still want to like watch my Bridge on the River Kwai and Lawrence of Arabia steelbooks that I bought months ago. And Lawrence of Arabia being 4.5 hours long is the reason I haven't watched it yet. And it's also been one of the reasons why I've been very selective on whether or not I'm going to rewatch the DCEU stuff before Black Adam, because Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut is 3 hours and some change, and the Snyder Cut of Justice League is 4 hours and 10 minutes. Like, I've just got a lot of stuff going on, and it's kind of difficult to watch some of that stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. I really need to at least see Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, given the rumors that have been circulating. But again, the problem is I personally love Batman v Superman. Like, it's actually my favorite DCEU movie. But right now, sitting down to watch a 3-hour long movie is a bit of a task at the moment, just because I have a lot of other stuff going on outside of just let's watch a movie. Like with my main channel stuff that I'm going to be re-upping real soon. I've got like 4 videos I've already recorded for that haven't yet been uploaded. With my stuff with being a writer, I've got another book coming out hopefully by the end of the month. Not to mention, I still have a regular day job where I work 40+ hours a week. And the last few months of the year are the busiest. My next book is going to be a sci-fi short story collection. I did a novelette collection back in 2020. And long story short, at the end of the day, you've got 1 supernatural story, 2 sci-fi stories, 2 romance stories. It's been a little too multi-genre for some people. Like, some people want the supernatural story but don't care about the others. And same with everything else. So I'm rebranding what I named Chaos Fusion. I need to rewatch Superman 3, to be honest with you. I haven't even watched Superman 2 recently. Like, the last time I rewatched any of them was when Warner Brothers put out the physical release of the TV cut of Superman. So I haven't watched any of the Christopher Reeve movies in years. Literally years. So probably after Halloween season is done, I might go back and try rewatching those since you mentioned it. And also, since we've talked about it before, I recorded my non-Arrowverse DC TV collection video. That'll probably go up next week. It is an hour long. But yeah, Ryan, just because so many people don't really do multi-genre, I'm splitting my stuff into thirds. Like my supernatural story is going to be turned from like a small novelette to being like its own book. My two sci-fi stories, that one's getting released first because I have quite a few sci-fi stories where it's kind of difficult to go into like the rights to like the legal behind the scenes stuff. But long story short, when publishers don't think the books are making enough money or the rights have reverted back from them to the author, they tend to just go ahead and pull the books from shelves. So my sci-fi short story collection's coming first just because I have enough stuff. And since I tend to do better at when it goes to selling my books, being at Comic-Cons more so than actual book festivals, that's been one of the biggest things I've been asked almost every single convention is, where's your sci-fi stuff? So I kind of need something for when I start going back to the convention circuit again next year. So that one's going to be out hopefully by the end of this month. And I'm going to have a romance short story collection at the end of the year that's going to feature the 2 romance short stories from my novelette collection, as well as a couple other ones that I have the rights to. And then the one's becoming its own book is being released next year because I have to literally double the size of the story. And I want to make it interesting for everyone that's reading it instead of me just trying to add words. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Like with my book stuff, like I've got the actual writing stuff itself. I contribute to anthologies. I actually run 2 separate YouTube channels for that. Like the main channel is where I talk about my stuff. I do unboxings for my books. I occasionally do unboxings for other people's books. And then the second channel is where I do like the audio versions of some of my poems and short stories. More so with the poems and short stories because a lot of the publishers I've worked with have started putting the anthologies on Audible. And my poems, it's easy for me to just, I've got a record app on my phone. So I can easily just hit the record button, recite the poem, clean up the audio, make it nice, and then just put the book on there as the thumbnail image for the second channel. So that's just, those literally take a few minutes to do. And then 9 times out of 10, the actual upload time is pretty short. But that's pretty much how I make money off the writing stuff. It's not just like, hey, I just wrote a book, go buy it. Like there's the YouTube stuff. I've got a new logo that's being made. I sell my books at conventions, festivals. There's a local event, weather depending, that I will be doing at the end of the month. That's kind of a craft festival sort of thing. And I did pretty well at that when they did it in July because they run it 4 or 5 times a year. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. But personally, I still like doing like Let's Watch a Movie the most just because no pressure on anything. Like there's no expectations. So I can kind of just do what I'm doing. And even though it has been picking up lately, it still feels like a no pressure scenario. So doing this is actually stress relief for me almost, as weird as that may sound. And as far as live streams go, like I know I do these at weird times because I know most people do them at night. Given what time I have to go into my day job, that's a little difficult because right now I'm going in at 2 a.m. My normal time is 4 a.m. So that's why I tend to do them in the middle of the day. If I know for certain I'm going to be off on a day, I'll try to do some like later at night and like give more of a notice than I did with this one. Because I think I gave like a 2-day notice. I think the earliest I mentioned this was on Tuesday. And like I said, I've been a little under the weather the last few days, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to go through with doing this one. Yep. I like I said, I know the feeling. And normally on Wednesdays, that's what I'll end up doing is checking out everyone's new release Tuesday videos because I've got a certain amount of time where it's like I'm just there doing stuff. So it's like just make a quick playlist of all the new release videos before I leave. Check those out on Wednesdays. And depending on how busy I am after work, because I need to eventually get a new phone because my phone's battery is, well, one, I've had my phone for a few years now, but because of that, the battery doesn't last long. So I definitely do that on Wednesdays. I used to like check out other stuff throughout the week, and I kind of can't do that because sometimes I have to be somewhere else, and checking my battery is not the charging it and having a decent charge is not always the best thing to do, or easiest option for me, I should say. But that's pretty much everything. Like I said, I was wanting to give some updates on that stuff. Throughout this month specifically, definitely expect like random like horror movie reviews. Like I said, next week there's probably going to be a Halloween 3 review. I did have a review for Halloween Kills on here. Unfortunately, I had to make it private for personal reasons involving someone that was in the video. So I might try to do a like quick thoughts on that again before Halloween Ends comes out next week. Ryan, I'm definitely going to be reviewing some of the movies that you sent me. And I'm going to be doing a ranking video for the VHS franchise before VHS 99 comes out. Just because I feel like out of some of the franchises out there, that one doesn't get mentioned as much as some of the other ones do. So I'm definitely going to do something on that. And like I said, some of the other like horror related reviews are just going to be kind of sporadic. I mean, tomorrow, even though it's a Marvel title, Werewolf at Midnight, from what I've heard, is technically a horror film. So that'll probably be added in this as well. But just for sake of the algorithm, expect me to push it more under the Marvel banner than the horror banner. So those are pretty much everything that's coming up. And then as far as reviews, there's going to be Werewolf at Midnight, Halloween Ends, Black Adam, Pray for the Devil, and if time allows me to see some of the other stuff that's coming out the next few weeks, I will try to, but I don't want to make any promises. But yeah, I think that's it for everything. I think I'm going to go on ahead and wrap some stuff up because I haven't ate lunch yet, so kind of want to eat lunch. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, I'll try to do some more live streams. I might be giving some updates as far as something else going on that's connected. All right. But yeah, either check Instagram, check Twitter, or check my community tab. I'm trying to post more on the community tab just because I'm on here and I am trying to get a little bit closer to 1,000 subscribers because I've already got the giveaway planned for that one. But yeah, like I said, I'm going ahead and wrap things up. Yeah, both of you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Ryan, good luck at work. But yeah, I'm going to end and wrap things up. Again, sorry for not being like the usual energetic thing that you usually see in the videos, but I genuinely don't have the energy to do it today. So sorry about that, y'all. So going ahead and wrap things up. Thanks everyone for watching. And to those that are going to be checking out the replay, appreciate that as well. And I will try to have a little bit more of a heads up on future live streams. And I'll try to have stuff a little bit later in the evening when I know people are actually at home and not at work. So, thank you. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment down below, all that other good stuff. And I will talk to everyone later.